Let's see. Go here. Live chat. I'm gonna work on that over there. Hey, Cat Eyes, what's up? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Cool. Hey, Monet, what's up? What's up, people? I'm looking at my water. I gotta work on this section over here. I'm getting the stuff in the room organized because I start work Monday. I had a run under last night. A run under? What's that? What's a run under, Monet? I need to know what that is. Let me know what a run under is. I don't know what that is. Hey, Chicago BBW, what's up, baby? What's a run under? I don't know what a run under is. Oh, somebody hit you last night. How bad did they damage the trailer? Are you okay? Yeah, one of the newer drivers that she's on the Trucker 411 channel. She's really cool. She just started with Prime and got hit by a Hey Cool Rocky got hit by a it was a Ford, I think F-150 in Texas. Flatland. She's going 62 miles an hour cruise control. I'm thinking the dude must have been in the truck on cruise control because he damaged the heck out of and it's a reefer. Did it rip out your airlines, Monet? Sorry, y'all. I'm not even really sleepy. I just been working on stuff. I decided to get this out because I saw it. Okay, you lucky. Yeah, my trucking school instructor, she said back when I took trucking school in 2009, she had a death on her. Not her fault, but the lady has having I think a stroke or a heart attack. Came off a ramp on the freeway, went under her truck, ripped out her airlines. She didn't even know. She thought she's coming into the terminal, and I guess where the terminal was sitting, woman comes off and come to find out, and I think the niece ended up paraplegic or something, and the mother or grandmother, whoever she was, she died. But yeah, that's deep. All right, for those of you who might be new to the channel, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, somebody else still give us a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for reminders. So I'll put that out there right now. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, but I might get on into the topic because I don't know who all is coming in and who isn't. Wow. Did they get hurt? Did the person in the car get hurt? Did they hit you or you hit them? And hello to whoever came in. Okay, well that much is good. Yeah, I mean I'm not happy that he hit you, but it's better his accident, not yours. To make sure, hopefully all your stuff was your logs and stuff were up to date, so they couldn't, because they be trying to find stuff. I ain't gonna be on here too long, so I'm gonna get on into it. So I'm gonna try to put a link below, or I may even put the picture up. But if you go to the Trucker 411, um, I'm gonna read those comments in a minute. If you go to the Trucker 411, um, D Boy Stance posted a pic of a letter from Stevens Transport and Stevens Tanker Division that works out in the oil fields. I think they do sand. They are closing their doors. I believe the date is October 15th, if I'm remembering correctly. They've sent notice out, I guess, to their drivers, and it's not all of Stevens. It's just the tanker division. Apparently, the oil field money is not where it should be. Hey, Liz, and so they're going to be closing their doors. Um, so I don't know if you work for Stevens, but you may want to try to transfer to a different division. And I don't know if it's Nikki or another driver who told me that this was coming. I have had a lot going on my own personal side, so I kind of keeping my ear out there. But since I'm not driving anymore, um, I also know that there was a real popular driver on YouTube who was a Prime driver, and I think he was with, is it RST? One of those. And I think he's also leaving out of it because he said he's not making the money that he was making. And he had several trucks. I'm not sure of all the details. I'm kind of waiting for more before I get into that discussion because I followed him a lot. I really thought he was doing a pretty fabulous job with the business, but it's an expensive business. And if it's either A, not managed right, or if things happen in the economy and you don't have the capability to maintain um, your fleet and or any expenses, it'll bite you in the butt. Me and Nikki are still gonna. We haven't had time because she's at a new job, and then I'm going to my new job on Monday, and so we haven't had time. But we will be hopefully once both of us get our incomes flowing the way they're supposed to be flowing, and get some days off. We're going to be sitting down because I think she has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to lease purchase, when it comes to authority, the goods, the bads, and the uglies. And I think that we really need to hear truth. And we need to hear truthful experience, not overly glamorizing something. I want to hear the good, the bad, and the ugly because I know that that is where it is. Some people go in there and may be able to do a fabulous job. But some of the folks that I have followed who get up in here and do all these fleets, um, and they do it, in my opinion, they're doing it too fast. Um, it's turning around and biting them in the butt a little bit later down the line. But Stevens is a pretty, they've been around for a long time. So there is some changes in the industry that are happening. The other thing Nikki sent me was that we actually have a school here in Arizona, Pima College. They are now offering training for the automated truck. So if you don't think it's coming because when a college is offering training usually they have a heads up that this is something new coming. They're not just charging this out their butt for no reason. They're doing it because they know it's coming down the line. And I will tell you, for the autonomous car right now, um, Lyft is offering an autonomous vehicle to pick you up and take you to your destinations because I'm having to use Lyft quite a bit in trying to get back and forth to work. I'm looking at some other options Sunday. I may have to look at other options because of when the shift is. The bus would have me on that bus for 3 hours one way and 4 or 5 hours the other way back. So I would be getting no more than probably 4 hours worth of sleep and then have to turn right back around and go to work. So kind of working with seeing what I can find. I need to get a vehicle as soon as possible. So I'm gonna have to put money away. Um, but that's the goal anyway. Right now, my friend, she doesn't charge me anything for staying here, which is a blessing. And I've sat down and told her what I'll be doing is the first couple of checks are really to kind of position me to get a car, and then my next move is to get something closer to where I'm gonna be working. So, because where I work is in a car, it's about 40 to 40. I'm gonna say about 45 minutes to an hour from where she lives. So we'll see. Let me go back and read some of the comments. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna pick this up. Y'all gonna see my hand. Y'all, hold on. Let me do it this way. That way y'all don't see my hand. Hold on. Let me go back. Okay, I said hi to Cat Eyes. Said hi to Monet. Got Chicago BBW. Cool Rocky. I spoke with you. Uh, okay, and Kuraki, I'm happy you're okay, and hopefully You don't have no problems from that accident you're discussing there. Said hey to Liz. I'm doing okay, Liz. Trucking Trips and Reefer, what's up? James, what's up, man? Jessica Norwood, how you doing? Or Jacqueline. Jacqueline, what's up, man? Okay, let me put that back. Making sure I got everybody. So yeah, I'm not gonna be on but half an hour. No, that's it. But now I start Monday. My shift is gonna be 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. I've already kind of started looking at car prices to kind of get ideas. I'm looking just for a used vehicle. I'm praying to get something decent without a lot of mechanical issues. And if it is some minor stuff that I can get fixed over time. Um, I'm looking at all options: an apartment by myself, which is what I would prefer, or hey, and R, what's up? Looking for that, and or I have looked at some roommate situations. I'm not a fan of roommate situations, but the apartment prices, like where I'm looking at, I've looked for everything under $800 a month. You have to make, I think it's 3 times the amount of your rent. I'm going to be making a pretty good income because um, let's say the top pay was 45 grand for Arizona. That's good. And I'll be not too far from that. So that's actually good. So I'll make the 3 times the amount. The thing is, I don't want most of my money going to rent, especially nowadays. I have some other plans. So I've got to finish off my chapter 7. I got to get a car. Well, the first thing is a car, then a place to stay, and then the chapter 7. So those are like my keys. So I don't know if I'm going to do a roommate situation. I saw a rental of an RV for like 700 a month, 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and then I thought about if I could do something like that, I could then offer the roommate situation, roommate out 2 rooms, and that would just pay for it, and just only thing I have to worry about is and barely worry about utilities. So I'm looking into all my options, just praying God open the door, because I mean the way this job came about, I wasn't even looking for it. I just accidentally ended up on it through a link that I thought was for a whole different job. So we'll see. Oh yeah, everybody, you gonna have situations where something's gonna happen out there. Okay, and so that is an old saying, that's trucking. Water. So yeah, so we'll see. Right now, just trying to get everything in order. Um, but no, I don't. I wanted to get on here and talk about Stevens because I don't know if I have any people that follow and they work for Stevens. But there are some changes coming to trucking. So for those of you that are OTR, y'all be careful out there. If you notice weird things with your company, you're not getting your miles, stuff like that, then investigate, see how they're doing. Right now, the medium companies, I don't think they're doing. The big boys can probably hang a little bit longer through ups and downs. But if you're a medium or you're not managed well, and in the current situation, it's not going to be good. And I know there's been a driver shortage, but as these companies scale down, it's going to be a problem. Yeah, Jacqueline Stevens, the tanker division is closing, and I believe the date is October 15th. I'm going to see, I'll either do it on my notifications and put the link up, and I think I have the link from the Trucker 411. D-Boy Stance posted it on the Trucker 411 channel, a letter that one of the drivers got. And they, at least what I do appreciate about Stevens is that they're handling it more professionally than some of these other companies, these smaller companies that have just closed the doors and left the drivers just out there. So Stevens has notified the tanker drivers that this division, not all of Stevens, just this division, is going to be shutting its doors. And they told them why. They went through the financial thing, and basically it's no longer financially lucrative and or possible for them to run the division based on the changes in the oil and gas industry. And I think they mainly handled sand. So they probably did like frac sand or something like that, is what from what I saw. So the tanker division of Stevens is what's closing. Not all of Stevens, just the tanker division is all that they mentioned in the letter. And like I said, they've given their employees, which I think was phenomenal. They gave them I mean, what is it? It's 2 weeks from the 15th. So they gave them 2 weeks notice that this is coming. And that also gets them prepared to transfer them into other areas. So they could probably transfer to OTR, regional, or whatever other um, trucking divisions that Stevens has. Kind of like what happened with Schneider. Schneider closed a division recently, and then they offered, as long as the driver didn't have any major safety issues, they offered to transfer them to other divisions. So the layoffs that were going to be impacted were not so much the drivers as it much was the office personnel. Swift didn't close anything. Swift just went through a merger, unless I missed something. Did Swift close something down that I don't know about? I must have. I'm like, y'all look, hit me up because I know nothing about Swift. Swift is just going through. They cleaning. They're just cleaning up house and liquidating. Yeah, that merger is different though, Jacqueline. Swift didn't close anything. What Swift did was they're going through a cleanup because of financial issues. So when they went through their merger, what ended up happening is they asked Knight to take over because Knight is liquid. So they're a liquid. They're liquid, meaning that they're solid. They don't have any debt. But Swift was in debt up to its ears. So the executive board of Swift made a decision to say, hey, we need you to come in here and help us clean up because you guys are doing something well. You also, Kevin Knight used to work for Swift before he formed Knight Transportation. And my understanding is he's always wanted to kind of own Swift. So now his company is managing it. So that's why the Knight Swift merger. Now, what they have done with Swift is they went in there and they started cleaning house. That much I can tell you from the time I was there. They went in and they, like I remember when I was there at the yard in Phoenix here in Phoenix the last time, they started getting rid of some of them old trailers. They started cleaning them up, fixing them up, and putting them bad boys up for sale. They sent some that could not be fixed. They took whatever parts they needed, put them on the trailers that could be sold, clean them up, and sold them bad boys. So they started liquidating crap that just been sitting there for years. I mean, even some of that stuff been sitting there since I was here in 2009. So yeah, yeah. So that's what's going on. So Swift. The only thing they did was do some cleanup. That's at least that's when. Now they might have laid some people off, and I knew that was going to happen. Anytime you say merger, you're going to go in and clean up house. There used to be a company. Man, I was trying to think of the name of the company, and they used to go in. And I really think they need their company again. I forgot the name of it, but it used to be a company. I know they had a division here in Arizona. They were real famous for going into companies and they would go in. And if you were struggling or having financial issues, they would come in, assess you, and then they would tell you what to do to get your business so that you wouldn't lose money. And you knew when they came in that you were most likely going to have layoffs. And if I remember correctly, they would place people in different departments to watch what folks were doing. Hey, Trucking Trips and Reefer. Um, yeah, they cleaned up a lot of office staff, and they needed to. I ain't gonna lie, Swift needed to clean up a lot of office staff. I agree with that. And I forgot what the name. Shiler Anderson, was it Shiler Anderson? I think it was Shiler Anderson. I think that's the name of the company. I think that's the name of the company. I think it's Shiler Anderson. I'll have to look, but I think that was them. And they used to go into any corporate company. They would place people in different departments, and like those people worked there. They would assess the operation of the department. They would see who was needed, who was not needed. Because some companies have folks who really aren't needed. They create positions for folks, they buddies, they friends, and then they paying money out for folks who ain't doing nothing. Or you got people hired in positions and they not doing their job. Or you have jobs that can be handled by, it can be consolidated, meaning let's say you have a secretary and you also have a receptionist. Depending on what the volume of calls are, the secretary and receptionist position can be the same. You just eliminated a salary and maybe you bumped the salary of the person doing both jobs. Yes, it's adding more work, but with the more work should, doesn't always happen because some of these companies are kind of sorry. But what should happen is that they should bump the pay for the person doing the two jobs. And normally, when you combine it, you know that they should be able to handle because you should have assessed that. They should be able to handle both positions. So it's like what I'm going to be doing here at the trucking company. I'll be doing that of a dispatch manager as well as customer service. That's what after hours support will do. So I'll get trained kind of in two areas. and it won't be. But a lot of the companies are, because you're consolidating a little bit of it. Now during the day, they may have, because it's going to be much busier. You're going to have a bigger volume. They'll probably have they have a separate customer service group, and then you have dedicated dispatch managers to the fleets, and that'll work. So I'll just be after our support. You know, the people we hate that they trying to figure out what's going on. That's what I'm going to be. Like, okay, your dispatch manager did what? Let me figure that out. Is my company what? You gotta clarify that one, Monet. I don't know what you just asked me. Girl, you need to read that comment. I don't know what you just asked me, Monet. Fix that and let me know. I don't know what you asked me. I don't know what you asked me. I got hired, Monet. I got hired. I don't know. We haven't talked. We're gonna talk behind the scene, but I did get hired. I don't know if I told you what company. Don't say it on here. I'll let you know behind the scenes. But I did get hired. I start Monday. I had to do. I got a big old patch. The hair is getting shaved off because I got a big old patch about that big. They had to cut out to do my hair follicle test. Yeah, I start Monday. I had to wait for the drug screening, which was a hair follicle test and the background check. And so I just got all my information on Friday as to when I start. And when you get back in here, we have to try to do a little get together, me, you, and Nikki. But me and Nikki been busting our butts. Danielle says she may try to get something through Phoenix. And if we do, I know what hotels everybody could stay at that's close to this side. So cool, Rocky. Did you? Okay, let me understand. I'm gonna go back because I've been talking. Okay, so let me understand. You had an accident too this weekend? Cool, Rocky. Let me know if you had an accident too this weekend. I'm trying to. Let me go back a little bit, y'all. And trucking trips and reefer, it's not only Atlanta. Swift laid off employees all over the U.S. in the office after the merger, and they needed to. I worked for them back in 2009 or 2010, and I worked for them again when I came back out over the road. And there's some people that were still there, and there's some jobs that you knew they were buddies of people, and they wasn't doing nothing. And I hate to say they needed to go. It's a business. It ain't about friendship. It's straight about business. I'm gonna cancel that. Okay. Oh, McDonough, Georgia. Okay. Kuraki, was the accident supposedly your fault or their fault? Both of y'all having accidents. Hey, Jennifer. Yeah. Okay. Did you run into somebody? I'm holding the phone, y'all. Just trying to catch up. And I'm gonna be on here for about 7 more minutes because I'm trying to make these now 30 minutes. Okay. Um. Hey, D Boy Stairs, what's up, homie? Yeah, I was sharing that you put that thing out about Stevens. I actually somebody gave me a heads up about that yesterday. I think it was Nikki told me that Stevens Tanker Division was gonna close. I think it was Nikki. So cool, Rocky. What I want to know is, are you still driving, or do they have you on hold right now due to the accident? And are you company, or are you lease purchase or owner op? I mean, there you can get hired on even with an accident. Nobody died in it. There's companies that are out there that will hire you if you end up in a situation where you get termed because of an accident. As long as you ain't really killed nobody, even well, I know people even rolling trucks that have gotten hired or rolled a truck. There's companies that will hire you. Did you get termed, Kuraki? I'm asking this because if you're gonna need a job, I know a couple companies that are second chance companies, and I know that they do hire people who've had accidents. And then I also would recommend that you talk to Heidi Hart if necessary, because she has association with companies that are second chance companies. Oh, yeah, do drug screening. Okay. Okay, so hit Heidi Hart up. If you go to Facebook, you want to go to Hart. I think it's HART Driver Solutions, and you can hit her up. SRT, Southern Refrigerated Transport, they're a second chance company. I think National Carriers also will take you. Second chance. Um, Black Horse took Bill with some issues, but Bill had 40 some years. Boom, 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 boom. Trying to think. That's where I would start. That's where I would start. Um, but Hart, let her, and you can tell Heidi exactly what took place. And then she has because she's like a driver headhunter. And then she can look for trucking companies. But I know that SRT will take you. My issue with SRT was I really wasn't getting the miles. To me, I wasn't getting the miles. But if you're somebody who needs second chance, they will get you that. So, and it could just be luck of the draw. It could be luck of the draw. Yeah, Western Express, T-point stands. Look, you might just want to go to SRT and do the chicken run. Just keep running in a circle in Arkansas, because that's all I was doing. They had me doing nothing but shuttle runs in Arkansas. I was about ready to lose my damn mind. Um, yeah, I would do that. I would do Heidi Hart and just see what she has. I would see what she has. I was done. I'm like, I'm coming off the road. There's too much going on in trucking right now. To me, you want to get somewhere where you're regional and or local and just do your job. Just be able to get home, get a region of the country where you can be close to home if something don't go right. Jacqueline, I know a lot of people that me and Trucker Bill had talked about that, and Bill he had he speculated that we were going to have a hit in trucking. Um, when I talked to him before the around mid of the year, he told me that he felt that the beginning of the year we were going to see a huge hit in trucking, a huge hit in our prices going up when we go shopping due to the tariffs. I So here's my view on the tariffs. I see the plus and the minus of it. Trump, not my favorite person. I'm one of those believe I'm very biblical on this. I believe God places people in positions of authority for the reason and season He does, and we may not understand the bigger picture, but I believe it's a prophetic thing, and I believe it's a filling time thing. So I'm just go there. With that being said, I have to somewhat agree that as a country, we send out a lot of money overseas to buy products that we bring back in this country, and we give a lot of people breaks that those breaks in my own opinion are not given to us. So while I can see that he's a little special, I also understand, and I don't know that he's necessarily the one coming up with this stuff. I think he's getting it from the right wing Republican Party as far as what to do with the tariffs. But I'm going to say I understand the why. Whether you like it, lump it, or leave it, we are a country that has given a lot of breaks in order to get products cheap and made other countries extremely wealthy um, based on what we're doing. This issue did not start with him. Granted, he's opened the door because he's trying to address it for whatever reason. It really started when we opened up trade to the degree that we did under the Reagan, Bush, and Clinton era. And that is what in my humble opinion, put us to where we're at, where we're not buying our own products like it is, so forth and so on. Yeah, and I hate to say that. Like I said, I'm not a fan, but in a sense, I have to agree with him. I don't think that our trade agreement is fair. It hasn't. It was made. It was made for us to get products cheap here in the U.S. from other countries, and for businesses to. I'm just going to you do slave labor. Let's go on and go there. So XYZ company who paid U.S. employees, let's say 30, $40,000 a year, can now go over to China and Zinzu and whatever other country and pay children pennies on the dollars, if that, for wages that would be $40,000 jobs. Get rid of all the people here, and then those of us who have some sort of work, um, and maybe even I hate to say the working poor, which is a lot of us, we're gonna buy this inexpensive half butt crap equipment made in other countries, um, in order to have a cheap, we think being cheaper, but in the long run, we basically have shot ourselves in the foot. So I do believe he is trying to make, well, I'm gonna say he, I believe that the instructions that have been given to him, because I don't know if I don't know if that baby's intelligent enough to come up with that on his own, because he crazy as a box of rocks. God bless him. But I believe that that is the goal. However, because of how it's being handled and because of the pushback, it is impacting our economy, and it's going to impact trucking for dang sure. Um, it's bad. It's bad. It's like I never understood. Let's deal with the oil thing when talking about Stevens. I never understood why it's so important for us to get our oil from another country. We do have oil here, so why aren't we using our supply here? Well, curious enough, we send our oil outside of the US because they make more money sending our product outside of the US, and then we import oil from outside of the US back into the US. It's just a conundrum, but it's business. So whatever's being offered here isn't as much as they want to make, so they export what we make here somewhere else, and we import from all these Middle Eastern countries and wherever else has oil back here to the US. But it's everything's coming to a head because the greed in doing so and doing all of the industrial stuff we've done without um, any kind of care for our planet. You know how we produce things, the cars we drive, and we all are guilty. But it's tumbled down. But the greed of the people on top who could do something different, the corporations, and ultimately, it does come down to us for supply and demand at the end, and everybody's just trying to take care of their own household, their own person, their own life. It's all about me kind of mentality. It's killing our planet. But it's again, that's another biblical situation because the Bible tells us that the planet was going to moan and groan for the return of the Lord. And my thing, the reason for that is because we haven't. Because the planet is basically saying you put these humans down here, you gave them the planet, they have totally fricked it up, in a nice about way, jacked it up, and we need you to come back, Lord, and make things right because they ruining this planet. Because if it's up to us, if we keep going, we're seeing anybody can tell you what they want. I remember being in high school and we used the word global warming. Now they've changed it to climate change. We talked about it as global warming. They've changed it to climate change. And when I was going to trucking school, I used to study at a coffee house. I got invited to a global warming conference at ASU, and they were just having random people. It was a very interesting awakening thing, and as I'm seeing things happen, some of the things they mentioned in that conference was that we were going to see shifts in climate areas that were once dry. are going to possibly become cold and wet, and areas that had moisture are going to now become dry. And there's going to be a huge shift, and that shift is going to eventually have an impact on populace. And, they try to nicely put devastation, but it's going to have an effect like what we saw in the Bahamas. What I saw down in the I cried. I mean, I cried because I don't know how many people died in that. I think the devastation is going to be something, and the sad part is because it is a predominantly area of color, I don't know that it's going to be a priority to tell us the numbers, but those numbers are going to be devastating. And I believe the same thing like when we had Katrina happen in Louisiana. And a lot of people are like, well, they didn't evacuate. They couldn't afford to evacuate. It's funny because we want to look at people's conditions in our shoes and think that we can understand, well, they just should have evacuated. It's not that easy. It's not that easy when you're not making that kind of income. It's not that easy if you're the working poor. It's not that easy. And Louisiana, if none of you've ever been, I went to Louisiana before Katrina. It was not a wealthy place, and they had a lot of homeless just in New Orleans. So in downtown New Orleans, we were staying at the Hilton for an Urban League convention, and the homeless population was huge back in 1980. Was that 81, 82? So if it was huge then, no, no. So in my humble opinion, and I'm gonna get off of here because I only want this to be 30 minutes. I believe that the tariffs are an issue, but I don't think that's the only problem in trucking. Trucking has had been mismanaged for a while, so similar, and in some of the companies, similar to how the banks and all that housing market crisis happened. So some industries have to finally bump their head in order to say, we need to straighten it out. And some of the banks are doing better. Some of them are still trying to do the shenanigans, but it's gonna take a hit, and it's gonna take. That's why we're starting to see with the shortage in trucking. What that did, which I think was a good thing, because I saw it at Swift when I was over there. You started seeing how your driver manager tried to interact. Retention of drivers started to become important. Treating drivers just like a piece of crap, that went out the window, or it was going out the window. I mean, don't get me wrong, you still had those buttholes in the office, but as they were manifesting themselves and another company came in, they rolling their behinds right on out. So basically, you couldn't just treat a driver any old way you wanted to. You had to show them some dignity and respect and treat them like a freaking human being instead of treating them like a dog and thinking that's funny. Well, that takes hiring a certain kind of personality and personnel. And if you can't get on board with that, then they're gonna roll you the hell up out of there. So yeah, there are some things that have happened in trucking I think need to happen, but I do think that the tariffs are having an impact, as well they should. And we as Americans need to change our mindset about some things. We need to get back to some roots. And just I'm gonna get off of here after this, but just an example, like I was doing like everybody else buying shower gel, and I still have some here left out in a box that I had here from when I was here. I don't buy shower gel that much anymore. I buy soap. Soap lasts longer. It just really does. I mean, and it's changing our mind about the products, the things we buy, where we get our stuff from, even like food right now. I tend to, I'm trying to eat differently as I can on my financial budget. And I tend to now do a little more vegetables. They over here where she's at right now, they have not a farmer's market, what's it called? They have a Sprouts, which is a farmer's market, and the vegetables are coming from farms. The produce is really good. They have good sales sometimes. You get more vegetables, more healthy stuff, less expensive than Whole Foods. But we got to shift how we look at our world. Is that going to stop what's happening? personally think the damage is irreparable that has happened, and I think it's going to be worse. I don't think there's going to be change. Like I said, this is all prophecy. It's all lining up to, in my humble opinion, some biblical things coming. And all I know is, like I said, people, I'm not trying to beat nobody in the dirt, but you might want to have your house in order because I don't know what's coming up next. But I think there's going to be some more bad stuff coming to the planet. If you haven't had a chance, NBC, Al Roker just did a thing on the global or the climate change crisis. It is on YouTube. I watched it yesterday for, it was about an hour long, and it's quite interesting. He did a trip up to Greenland. He showed there's areas where Greenland is supposed to be cold and the water was hot, warm. You see the what do you call them? The ice. You know what I'm talking about? Breaking off. I forgot. You know what I'm talking about. Just my mind is blank. But you see the big things of ice just breaking off because of what's going on with what they call it climate change. We called it global warming when I was growing up. Um, you see all of that happening. Then another one of the NBC newscasters, he went underground, and this is something being studied by NASA. NASA, and I thought that was interesting. They had NASA out in the water, doing some things out in the water, and then they had NASA, and then they did some kind of underground thing, and then there were other conversations. Even up in New Jersey, they're starting to see things with the fishermen and the fish, the decrease in fish due to the changes happening in the oceans. There's a lot going on. So what we have to understand is that transportation is impacted by all of those markets. It's impacted by anything in the food industry. It's impacted by anything in the industrial industry. And if you're starting to see issues planet wise, you're going to see it, and then you're also seeing it on the political tariff side. So, yes, I do believe it's impacted that way. Anyway, y'all, this is 41 minutes. I didn't mean for it to go this long. If you're here to the channel, you like it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, somebody else might like it. In the words of my homegirl, D Boy Stance, um, go ahead and give us a like, a subscribe, hit that bell. I'll be giving y'all more details. Again, I have not, I don't drive anymore. I do not drive anymore, but I am going to be working in the trucking office. So, as I can, I'll share wisdom, and then I got to get up in here and update some links because I want you guys to be able to link over to the Trucker 411. I'm going to be possibly, I'm waiting to kind of see how Jennifer does. We may be inviting a new admin who is on the road. I want to see how she's doing. She did have an accident. She has posted it on 411, not her fault. But I want to see how she does. And she's got a lot of enthusiasm. She likes to share her life, and I'm thinking about inviting her over to the 411 as a as an admin because I'm gonna need some people to replace me and my shenanigans over the road and frustrations and all that good stuff. But anyway, y'all, you know what I'm thinking. Two and two, be blessed. Peace.